Ladies and gentlemen, this is huge. Trump orders probe against Democratic fundraising platform Act Blue. Well, what does that have to do with AOC? I'll tell you in a second. This is House Chairman Steele announces referrals to attorneys general in Act Blue investigation. This is a huge, widespread investigation, ladies and gentlemen, pertaining to donations. We saw what happened in 2016 with the Democratic Party, cheating Bernie Sanders and taking donations, utilizing the myth or under the guise of a fair and neutral primary. We have attorneys generals in Virginia, Texas, Virginia, Arkansas, Florida, Missouri, I think there's some other states as well, investigating currently a potential money laundering scheme. Okay, we have AOC being accused of misusing funds. AOC Pelosi misused official resources for campaign purposes with disdain for law. This was last year. Then you have AOC's campaign obscure thousands of dollars in expenditures, FEC complaint claims, the year prior. Then you have Representative AOC investigated for possible violations over Met Gala gifts. Okay, thousands in Met Gala gifts. Okay. Then you have government watchdog. Government watchdog group sues over AOC fundraising complaint dismissal. And you have, from Hans A. von Spakovsky, former FEC chairman, AOC and top aide should be investigated for possible campaign finance violations. President Trump is going to arrest, indict, prosecute, convict a number of people. AOC is being championed as the future of the Democratic Party. From day one, she's had major allegations and possible felonies associated with her account, with her fundraising. If Democrats routinely break campaign fundraising laws, President Obama paid the largest fine ever. If they routinely do that, and now they're utilizing AOC to raise as much money as possible, and she started off her campaign, her political career with possible felonies in terms of campaign with political action committees. Then you had two YouTubers associated with one of her political action committees, and then they jettisoned and cut and ran from that political action committee. We can go on forever, but check this out. This is huge. James Comer's interview the other day with Maria Bartiromo hints at a potential arrest of a lot of Democrats and indictments, I should say, and arrests of a number of Democrats, possibly even AOC.
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you're up. Hope you dressed. Congresswoman Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez blaming a former aide for not paying the expenses as she faces a House ethics probe over her 2021 Met Gala appearance. Remember that? The committee finding the Democratic Socialist, quote, may not have paid for several thousands of dollars worth of goods and services provided to her. This includes her ticket for the event, valued at $35,000, along with her infamous tax the rich dress, accessories, and jewelry.
So AOC gets a $35,000 ticket to tax the rich. Only Democrats would find this a good political stunt, or, this is good politics. You want to go and tax the rich, present yourself as a socialist or Democratic socialist, and you're paying $35,000 for a ticket to an event. Actually, nobody's paying for it. Apparently, AOC's campaign just got it for free, apparently.
New York City business owner Cherie Murray ran against AOC for Congress. And now, Cherie, this is not going away. There's an ethics probe into this. Does it surprise you the socialist begged for tickets to this ritzy event?
No, it doesn't. Not at all. And this is just another example of the pot calling the kettle black. She somehow has performative outrage and selective outrage, and now she just has a memory failure when it comes to the fact that this wasn't a charity event. She's not allowed to receive these tickets. And so, courtesy of Anna Wintour, her and her fiance attended the Met Gala. She got her hair done. She got a complete wardrobe, including shoes. She got her makeup done and conveniently forgot to pay the bill.
There seems panic behind the scenes as they realize they can't do this. According to Page 6, a morning after, a Vogue staffer informed AOC's office the day after the ball, the congresswoman had a great time and everything, but then she says, by the way, Vogue is the one who brought you in there. Now, if the Met Gala gave her tickets, it might have been a different story, but everybody was informed of this. Her answer seems to be, it was my staff's problem. They had my credit cards. They didn't use them. Will that fly?
No, not at all. I mean, if you look at the OCE's exhibits in their investigative report, it clearly shows contradictions between her and her staffer. First, the staff was tasked to pay. Then the staffer said that he'd never had her credit card. So there is some controversy here, and I'm happy to see that she's being held accountable, and that's why the OCE is moving forward with this probe.
She did a lot of questionable things, but one of the worst things I remember any elected official ever doing was telling Amazon to hit the road, because she was unable to get that concept through her head that a tax break doesn't mean you're paying somebody off. You're not coming out of the budget. So
So that was billions of dollars in tax revenue. Billions in dollars in tax revenue. When Amazon wanted to move to New York, and AOC said, "You're not paying taxes," and they then decided not to move their headquarters to New York, that would have resulted in billions upon billions in commerce and revenue, and not just tax revenue, just the economic ecosystem in Manhattan, in New York, in her district, would have benefited greatly. At restaurants, dry cleaners, everybody would have benefited from Amazon moving their headquarters to New York. But of course, AOC doesn't understand the concept. She didn't understand the concept of how billions of dollars would be generated, billions of dollars in business and commerce. So we're not even talking about tax revenue. Of course, the tax revenue would be in to the tune of billions as well for the state of New York. But anyway, let's continue. AOC started off her political career with a huge financial debacle, according to Hans A. von Spakovsky, former FTC chairman, and others. Here's the article that he wrote years back. This is a recap of political action committees that impressionable progressives and leftists and left-leaning Democrats, they give money for Medicare for all, single payer, Green New Deal. AOC wants none of that. She has done nothing, literally nothing in Congress when it comes to all the things she claimed to represent.
Phil, let's begin with the campaign finance violation. They're calling this a possible felony. Her, I guess, campaign manager was playing loose with a bunch of cash, $1 million. Is she in trouble for this, possibly?
Well, she's certainly in trouble. The question is how much trouble. We know at a minimum there are reporting violations, because almost the entire back office campaign operation was outsourced to a vendor called Brand New Congress, LLC, in a storefront in Knoxville, Tennessee. And the disclosure on her campaign report just says strategic consulting, even though they were doing obviously much more than that. We don't know if any of the money was diverted or embezzled or stolen, but even if it was all used on legitimate campaign expenses, there's almost certainly a reporting violation here. The much bigger problem and the potential...
A reporting violation? I think that's what they tried to impeach
the minimum.
President Donald Trump for the reporting violation with Stormy Daniels. Let me just show you what a former FEC official had to say about this alleged crime. Go ahead.
I've never seen this kind of setup. Knowing in willful violations of the Federal Election Campaign Act, there's no accounting for what it did with over $2 million. It made $62,000 in contributions to candidates, nothing in independent expenditures. What did it do with all this money? Either it seemed to disappear into the pockets of Chakrabarti, or they used it to assist campaigns without reporting it, which would be, major.
Yeah, I want to again. All right, and now the freshman congressman, is in trouble potentially for her Twitter use.
So, ladies and gentlemen, all of this really leads to the current investigation into Act Blue. AOC is very popular, a very big attraction on Act Blue. She's very important to fundraising. So is that fundraising site. It's now being investigated for very, very bizarre activity. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.